Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us on this second segment with Apoorva. We're going to be talking about Apoorva's merit scholarship at Penn State. I have interviewed a couple of folks. I believe I've interviewed one person who has gone to Penn State, and I've heard only good things. But I think now we're going to learn about Apoorva's scholarship, how she did it, what she, I get a lot of questions about scholarships all the time. So once I see someone who got a full, like a merit scholarship, I want to ask questions. What did you do? Did you lie down? Did you stand? How did you land a scholarship here in the US, right? Because it's
No,
not
I sometimes think that what did I do, and I still don't know how it happened. So
well, whatever you did, if you were crying while typing your essays, whatever you did, I'm sure people want to know because a lot of folks are always looking for funding. Schooling in the US here is super expensive. No one has to tell you. At least I know because I got a part scholarship, but even the remaining part of the scholarship that I had to was still a lot of money, right? So I think the more information that we can spread about scholarships, what you can do, how you can position yourself, the better, right? So let's jump right into this. Before we go ahead with the rest of the episode, I want to say a special thank you to Themis back sponsoring today's episode. As I've said so many times on this channel that I use Themis bar, and that is one of the ways that I believe I passed and excelled in the New York bar. So I definitely recommend them as a partner in succeeding in your bar exams today. One of the big perks of using Themis bar is that you get a personalized attorney advisor, a licensed attorney who would give you specific and personalized feedback on all your essays. So please consider Themis for all your bar prep needs today. Tell us about your LLM application process. Just, take us through what that looked like for you, especially coming from India.
Okay, so I applied to several schools in the US and not just Penn State, but particularly if we talk about Penn State, it did not have a separate application or anything extra to be done with respect to scholarship. So my LLM application at Penn State comprised of the letter of recommendation, statement of purpose, my transcripts, and the IELTS or TOEFL, whatever your university acknowledges as an English passing exam. So, and these things are generally true for most of the applications throughout US. So it's not something that Penn State wanted, something different. So how they choose merit scholars, particularly at Penn State, is through these documents, and they check your grades and how you have been in general academically and professionally. So I think I had decent grades at law school, but I think one thing which really worked in my favor is WorkX. So I practiced as an attorney in India, in Delhi, for like a few years before moving to the US or before applying
Work
for
experience.
Yeah, so I think work experience is something which definitely played on my side because it gives you exposure. It makes your candidacy stronger than what it is as compared to someone who's just gone to law school and wants to go for LLM. So I think that's important, and I think it's one more thing which I think worked in my favor was that in my statement of purpose of why I want to be at Penn State or why I want to do LLM in general, there was a lot of transparency, and there was pride in the fact from where I come and what I have done, and and there was I think there was clear vision of why I want to do LLM and where it will take me. So I highly recommend writing your statement of purpose on your own and not copying it from, a person who went to law school before you and, asking the samples, because it really doesn't work. It's your journey. You have to prove why you are fit in that great institution, which is a hard thing to do. But I think it has to be really simple and it has to be really transparent. I didn't use big fancy words to impress someone. It's not like that. It was as normal as I'm talking to you right now. So having clarity of thought in your application and in your journey builds trust on someone who's reading that it's a genuine person who wants to grow and who wants to come and attend such an institution and this course. So that's something which I would recommend to people, that write your own SOP, please.
Hi, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. It's very important. So subscribe, like, comment, ask your questions. That's how YouTube helps other folks like you know about what I'm doing. So please take a second, subscribe. A lot of you just come, enjoy the goodies of the videos and don't subscribe. So please do that, subscribe. Thank you. Back to the video. I think that's a very good point. But you also say something that I don't think a lot of people say a lot, which is that your work experience is important. That is what distinguishes you, because I see a lot of people who just finished from their JD in their countries and just want to jump right into, I'm doing a master's here. So it's good to hear you say that, like having some work experience does help you.
I think though having work experience helps you in landing up a good LLM program, and also helps you after LLMing landing up a job in the US, right? Because since you're new to their legal system, building trust and having trust in you becomes a little bit challenging. But if you have worked in that industry and you know the in and outs about it, and you've drafted motions, and you've been in the court, or you were on the corporate side, whatever it was, being familiar with how the industry works carries a lot of weight. And so I think it'll benefit you in more than one way, like more than just getting a seat in the LLM. It'll benefit you in the future as well. So WorkX would be important.
That's great. Okay, that's a good point to give. Were there any interviews for the application process? At least for the scholarship, were there any interviews? It looks like you just, the same application you put in for the school was whatever was reviewed, and wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, but there is an interview which is not specifically for the scholarship, but that is an interview once you apply and once your application gets shortlisted, if at all, then you face an interview to secure a seat for the LLM program. So it's all this process that they judge, and they choose, whom to give award scholarship for. And I was probably lucky to get one. But that interview is a little challenging. The interview for LLM at Penn State, it's long and it's hard, and then they try to grill you with and they try to throw challenges, and they try to also familiarize with you that how your life and how your this everything around you will completely change once you're here. It's not just studies. You'll have to be responsible for yourself completely, which is also a great way to open someone's eyes that it's not only the books which will be challenging. You're going away from home, and that's also important. So that was I'll always remember that interview, because once I was done with it, thing which I said to myself was that no, I don't think I'm going to make it. And then a few weeks later, I got a letter which was full merit scholarship.
So let's talk about the merit scholarship. Was that a complete 100% waiver? Was it part waiver? Were you responsible for some part of it? What did that look like?
No, it was a complete full tuition waiver.
Oh, Lord, that's amazing.
So I was not. I had no responsibility for any kind of tuition fees, but yes, I had to take care about my living expenses and groceries and everything else, rent and all that. But a lot of people make ends meet in the sense that they take a part-time job, or they take a research assistantship or TA or RA kind of thing at their university, and pay their rent or something. But as far as tuition fees considered, I was lucky.
That's amazing. I think it's very interesting, because why I say it's interesting is because you just applied, right? Were you thinking about getting a scholarship when you applied? I guess when you were applying to Penn State, were you thinking, oh, I'm writing this because I want to get a scholarship? Did you even know scholarships were available, or were you just applying to the school and then this came as a surprise to you? I would like to know more about that.
Okay, so I think when I was applying, it was less about the scholarship and more about Penn State.
Okay.
I chose Penn State basically because of their, renowned arbitration lecturers, and it's really up and coming in that field.
Mm.
So there are many highly renowned academicians who are professors at Penn State, whose books we read for arbitration. So that was my main goal, to be in an environment where I want to excel. But I knew that for the scholarships you don't have to do anything extra. But then yes, that was always in the back of my mind, because that's subconsciously that's what you want. That let me get admission, and I wish I get scholarship as well. So that was not the end goal, but yeah, that came honestly as a surprise, but like a very happy surprise.
That's amazing. That's amazing. We are almost at the tail end of this too, because I just really wanted to give people some more insight about getting this merit scholarships at Penn State.
And I just to add, I think merit scholarship is one way to go. There are many other scholarships also available. So I don't think you should restrict your options just for merit scholarship. There are a lot of organizations, if you're coming for an LLM, there are a lot of organizations in your home country who are ready to sponsor you if you've been academically well in your law school and you have WorkX and you have a strong profile. So there you can apply for that. Also, there are some scholarships which are diversity based. So I really encourage people to apply for diversity scholarships.
How do we find those? I guess the question will be, how do they find the scholarships? I know, I can't speak. Do you know of any scholar, at least in India, for folks who are from India and watch this? Do you know anyone specific to India, or do you know any diversity-based scholarship? Does anyone come to mind for you? If none comes to mind,
so diversity scholarship would be more available on the university website, whether they accept applications based on that. But then the regular merit scholarships, I know of an organization named JN Tata Scholarships. So they sponsor people and students who are going for their LLM to the US and to the UK, and they fund them partially or completely. So I really encourage, at least for Indian students who are listening this, to apply for those type of organizations, and just Google that, are there any organizations around me where I can talk, where I can email, who would consider my applications of partial waiver of tuition fees. So I think just don't rely on the merit scholarship of the university. Just look around, talk around people. There might have been someone in your college or in your university who has availed that route as well. So I think and it'll help you really, like if you get scholarship, even if it's partial scholarship, because the fees these colleges are a little bit expensive, so it'll help you. So I think it's worth fighting for, and it's worth spending your time on the internet for, because if you do get it'll help you like a lot.
Yep, it's very rewarding. It's obviously very rewarding. I guess one of the last questions I would ask is, so what was the transition, and this is just me thinking out loud, what was the transition from the LLM program to your current job like? What were there any challenges when you were transitioning from your LLM program to your current job?
I would say that it's a little bit stressful and overwhelming, because of the fact that I was working as an attorney in India, and then I moved here, and while I was preparing for the bar, I was working as a law clerk. So it's basically low-key starting from scratch. You are doing a job which might not be ideal, which what you want to do, but you have to do it to make ends meet while you prepare for the exam. So that can get in the way.
Was it hard for you to get the law? Sorry for interjecting, right? But I did a video where I talked recently about how to land these other jobs that can get you in the foot of the legal industry, and one of the jobs I mentioned was a law clerk. Was it hard for you to land this law clerk job, or?
I feel it's really hard. I mean, especially for me, I think it's particularly hard for me because when I graduated, it was peak COVID time.
Yeah, we've talked about that.
2021. So that was hit. The market was down. There were no jobs. Nobody was wanting to hire us or something. So it was hard. And that's when as I said before, that's when your prior work ex and things like that come into the picture. That okay, of the limited jobs there are, why would I get it and not the other one? Is because they can probably trust me more with the familiarity with the industry to give me a job or something. So I feel it was hard, and this whole journey of working and studying for the bar, that journey is also hard. But probably for most people that's the only way, because it's not something that you can like, okay, let me just take a 6 month break from the job. When you're in some other country, it's not that smooth. You need to keep working and keep paying the bills, right? So it's a little bit hard. But then I think I did a lot of applications in law school. Yeah, in LLM, what I just did in my final semester was basically applying to jobs. And it was like, oh, part-time studying. Oh, I got a couple of hours. Okay, let me just studying. But like full-time, it was job applications. It takes a lot of effort. I think I would recommend going to, even as a LLM student, like going to networking events.
So that helped you?
I'm sure it helps. I mean, for me, probably that networking event or the person I connected to, that was not how I got the job, but it won't harm you. It would help you at some point. I'm still in touch with the people I networked that time, and they're on LinkedIn, and you never know when you get the right opportunity. So expand your LinkedIn network. Don't be shy from reaching out to people. Just say that I'm so and so, and this is my area of interest. This is my this is what I've done in this field, and this is why I want the job. Definitely, like, you should reach out. There might be 10 people, and like I think 7 of them won't even check and won't even apply. 3 would check but ignore, and then there will be one person who would help you because he or she might have been in the same shoes where you are. So definitely, like, I think networking will really help you land a job after your LLM.
Yeah, I think you've answered all my questions, but I guess I always ask people who I bring on the channel this question, and that is, do you think an LLM is worth it?
Absolutely, yes. For me, absolutely, yes. I think when I was doing an LLM after working as an attorney, it really instilled a lot of confidence in me. Doing well in law school and meeting people, so many people from all across the globe, instills a confidence, and it broadens your horizon of how you think and what's going on in the world. And also the fact that it got me into the zone of studying again, which is really important for you to continue and prepare for the bar, because a lot of people are away from studying because they're now working, and one day they're handed over the books that you read everything, mug up everything, and sit for the bar. It really takes time to get back to the studying zone because you're so comfortable in your 9 to 5 and all that. So that's something which pushed me to pick up the books and and like, let's do it, let's study all-nighters and this and that. You're in that zone. So that really helped me probably pass the bar or something. So I think for me it was totally worth it. But I understand this is a subjective questions, why, how much, all that. But I really feel it can push you to the right path.
Yeah, that's amazing. Thank you so much, Apoorva. I really appreciate you doing this. I hope this has been helpful to folks. And please watch the previous episode if you haven't, and if you're thinking of what part to write. I think that was very helpful. And have a wonderful rest of your day, everyone. Have a good one.
Thank you for having me.